What's Gucci, guys? What's Gucci? What's Gucci? Time to motherfucking drink. Flag mail. What's up? Yo, what's good? Oh my god. Yo, what's up, Jaded? Jade, what's up, Jade? What's up, Solomon? Oh, that's the guy with the YouTube channel. That's the up and rising typology individual. Let me see. Yo, what's up? Nothing really. Just decided to kind of, do a little live, be consistent with the lives because sometimes I would do the usual, right? Oh, guys, I'm gonna see you next week, and then fucking don't see you for a month, or. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna be more consistent if I say next week. Next week, the fuck it is. So just trying to stay. I'm a rational type in socionics. Okay, I'm a hyper disciplined individual who is uber consistent, which is why you see me here, right? I'm fucking talking genuine garbage right now. It's not true. What's up? He's salty after being compared to an Asian Tony. Asian Tony Soprano. That's good. Rational type 3E. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, lately I saw people telling me they were like discussing my type, and one of them, there were like two people, right? They were like, "I think he's a rational type too." Yeah, and I'm like, "You fucking retards, man! Both of you dumb fucks. Do you even know me as a person? Fucking rational type. I wish I fucking was a rational type. Jesus. What's up, Turban Oscuro? To Tiburon Oscuro, Crefet. I don't even know. Listen, your Crefet, Crefet, Crefet. Don't know how to say your name, but I've seen you a lot on the channel. I remember even answering your Q&A about this VE. Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit on fucking stream. I'm joking. VEFL or VLEF? You always been confused about that shit. Hopefully that shit's solved now. Uh, oh, this funny guy. Oh, yo, what's up, Dane Tree? How are you? Hello. What is the most insult type? My money. I mean, it. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you with this, right? It would be easy to say definitely SX5, right? Okay, probably like an ILI basement dweller. You would think, but unironically, I think a lot of the incels they treat it as an ideology, and many of them are SO4s. I do think many incels are social fours, because to be an incel, I think there is a certain level of victimhood, right? Oh, women don't want me, and clinging to other men, creating those kind of ideologies, clinging to those ideologies. So that kind of might even seem more SO4 than SX5, but both work. Brazilian. Many Brazilians watch my shit. Oh my god, dude. After like I'm not gonna lie. After the biggest viewership I get is from United States. That's kinda a dumb moment. And then I get it from Brazil. So I guess, Brazilians like me. I don't fucking know why. Maybe some of my takes, they just like the takes. It's I don't know. Ways to differentiate ways to differentiate 2L. Can you remind me what was this 2L3 and 3L2? I'm guessing 3L2 is the process one, right? Which is the most circle jerked ever. In this case, I would tell you to do this. Forget the subtypes because they can make things look very similar, but focus on, is it insecure? in my opinion, just focus on that. Is it an insecure placement? Do you cope? Do you compensate with it? Are you aggressive? Are you reactive with it? Right? So that's what you should look at. The subtypes, they're not going to help you in this way. Oh, shit. I saw an argument for SX6 being red pill. What do you think? Um, I think SX6 would be red pill for sure. They're also going to be part of the ideology. They could be part of the ideology. um it would be the typical introverted type that didn't have much luck with women, and they discovered this systematic categorical way of approaching women and then categorizing them to get the best results, maybe. And there's such a strong ideology behind red pill. I could potentially see it for SX6, just LSI, in general, maybe even SO6 could be possible. How do you tell the difference between LIE and ILI in the wild and through social interactions? Um, if I was to really focus on telling the difference, what would I focus on? If I was, let's say, myself, maybe I am ILI or LIE. What would I look for? Because I've known people who were confused between two types and they used subtypes. Like ILI fucking TE, right? LIE and I. That's garbage. But I would say look at your usage of SC, right? That's what I would pay attention to. Um, just the nature of LIE often can be compensating in a sphere of SC. So that's one thing you can see many times, which is why many of them are social threes, right? They do kind of can compensate with SC. So I would look at that. I would look at your SC. Um, and in general, I would expect an ILI to be much more inexpressive, to suffer to suffer more from inertia, right? That's what I expect from an ILI. I would expect an LIE to be much more active. I would expect an LIE to be much more grounded in the sensorical world in a sense, right? Not suffering from kind of lacking in action. I think they would have better time with it. So their SC is there, but I would think there could be try hard SC or reactiveness in the sphere of SC. Now, if you still have a problem with that, people might not like what I'm going to say, but it is true that you can, figure out your enneagram, right? If you figure out your enneagram, you figure out your socionics type, because an LIETE base is not going to be a 5 core, because it's just that doesn't make sense. So I'll look into that. I would look into your usage of SC. In my opinion, that would probably be the best. In a nutshell, LIEs are jacked. I think LIEs, the reality is you'll find more LIEs engaging in behaviors like let me get more ripped, let me get into the gym, let me learn martial arts, let me be in sports, so you see that more with an LIE, right? And I've seen cases of LIEs that you might kind of confuse for an SC base because of the SC. They do kind of try to, especially when they are older and when they mature, they kind of look into that shit. Which sociotypes are correlations to VLFE? You're not dealing with an ILI. Uh, if you genuinely are VLFE, you're not dealing with an ILI. At that point, it's an LIE. Because 1V would never be ILI. Never. Same way 1V would never be 5 core. It just doesn't happen. The strong will to go after what you want, right? And to have the complete confidence to exert your will on the external world against the pressure of the world. It just doesn't fit very well with an ILI. So in general, there will be an LIE. VLFE would 100% be an LIE, but you need to figure out if that's your true, actually true type. Maybe you did it on a test, or or you just type yourself. That does matter. How to differentiate SX8 and SP8 when both are expressive and unhinged. One is an SEE and the other is an SLE. So what do you look for? An SP8, while they can be expressive, there are examples of that, and they can be more unhinged sometimes. They operate within just impersonal logic. So less spurgy in general towards people, much more impersonal towards relations. That's also going to happen. They're not that good at eliciting certain reactions in people. They might try, an SBA might kind of make a fucking joke, I think, um, and it will fall flat. Ha ha ha. No one fucking laughed. With an SX8, I think they do know how to elicit strong reactions in people. They do know how to kind of get you going, and they're very focused on the relational aspect. SP8 is not focused on the relational aspect. So even though they're both expressive, the SP8 is much more structured and much more logical in their approach to things, with much more of that emotional distancing, I would say. Want to why? Reality is every seven core is going to be very 2L coded. That's just the nature of being a seven, right? Intellectual individual who uses wit, who uses the verbal ability to persuade you, to charm you, to kind of make a certain impression, to convince you in an argument, in a debate, to outsmart you, to create schemes. That is something that they're very good at. So 12 for a 7 core is kind of a given. Now 3E, even though he's falsely kind, so pure, since he has gluttony. So if you're saying 3F, you're suggesting what type if it would be 3F? Because you don't consider just one placement, consider all of them. So let's say you say 1F, so you say 3F, what would it be? Which types? What do you think about? I don't think it exists. um I just don't. And it's not even a gatekeeping, mainly because if you read the book, the sexual six book, the subtype book, there is so much evidence that points towards rejection of extroverted thinking, meaning like believing creating subjective understanding of the world, subjective values, right? And having an amazing prowess, intellectual prowess, to analyze, to structure the world. Okay, but confusing your your thoughts with reality. So basically, believing what you think is correct, what you think must be the truth, and it's confusing that your thoughts, your structures, with what is true, what is, even if there's something else in the world, even something objective that is completely contradicting you. So that doesn't fit the hyper adaptable TE base. Fuck. Why can't ILE be for E but SLEs can? Like, doesn't the whole? No, because listen, the Fi polar doesn't necessarily fit for E beta. In fact, many would argue. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but that SLE would be archetypally 3E. That's also because it does fit Fi polar well, right? It's the vulnerable in the expression of sentiments, right? Vulnerability in an expression of your sentiments, right? Kind of being cope the fuck out about it, reactive about it, when pressed on it. So I think it could make sense with it. But always ask yourself this: okay, ILE 4E, what type? What about the other placements? What about the logic placement? What about the fucking physics placement? What about the volitional placement? Right? Sometimes it's very obvious when I. It's funny because you watch someone. especially when they talk about relations with people, and you can tell, you can tell this motherfucker is a bipolar. Like you, and that it does come with a certain level of objectification towards relations, certain level of distancing and almost impersonal approach. And I think that's probably what's off-putting to people about SLEs, many SLEs, and I think the SLE doesn't recognize it in himself. After the fact, he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but in the moment, it's difficult. VLFE is much more dogmatic type, though. They're not a ultra intellectual. Let me find answers. Let me entertain all possibilities, even though they're 2L, but in conjunction with the other elements. VLFE is much more of an ambitious, hardworking, disciplined, and dogmatic type. Actually, I do have few. I'm a big movie fanatic. Okay, so dude, oh my god, some good ones. I'll tell you one of the best shows I've ever watched, and I watched it recently. Severance. If you Google Severance, that fucking shit is gonna blow your mind. It's a deep movie. It keeps you hanging. Every episode you want more. You want to find out. And what really kept me in it is how original the concept is. It's just unlike any other TV show. So fuck, I really do suggest any of you who are into like TV shows to watch Severance. The plot original as fuck, amazing movie, and I cannot wait until season 2. I've seen, oh my god. Okay, so I've seen this I've I I've seen this take on personality database, and that's genuinely, I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the fucking dumbest. It's a troll. It's a troll. It's like INFPA level take, and it's so fucking idiotic. First of all, there are few logical problems with this fucking thing. One, I have seen a series called a Caesar Napoleon. Okay, it's called that. Naranjo type Caesar as social 2. Does social 2 go with the CE? Also, VFLE is called as Napoleon. What those types are called does not fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It simply doesn't. To say VFLE works with SO2 would be to completely change the nature of the PY type. VFLE, which is a type that relies on physicality and physical dominance. Let us sink the fuck in. It's a type that relies on physical dominance and expansive nature in the physical world, using the physicality. And that's gonna be a fucking social 2. Social 2, which in the book reeks of 4F. Yeah, okay. Yeah, what the fuck else? Solomon, by the way, maybe I did seem aggressive. It wasn't towards you, but I've seen this take from an experienced user, which should have fucking known better. So, absolutely, it's fucking unacceptable, man. What are your thoughts in Enneagram arrows? Integration and disintegration. I was actually talking about. Someone asked me this similar question. I'm confused. I'll tell you honestly, because I can sit here and tell you, oh, I think it applies to me. I see it. Okay, sure. What about other people? Do I have enough data? Do I have enough? Have I observed it in people enough to be able to tell you, okay, 100% it's a real thing? I haven't. But personally, in theory, it makes sense, right? And it makes sense in a sense, right? I'm an 8, so my integration would be 2. That kind of makes sense if you understand what an 8 is. That would, kind of would make sense that you grow into more of that 2 2 side. That makes sense, more helpful, more tolerant, more accepting. That makes sense. So I think it should be considered, in my opinion, not to type, right? So don't use it to type yourself. Like some people like, oh, I think I integrate to this, so I'll type. That's very that can get you fucked up. That can get you really fucked up. But in my opinion, there might be some validity to it. It's like okay. So this is quite simple. The difference between second will and third will. Literally, two is SO6 is much more of a obedient individual, much more of a fair individual in how he deals with situations, while SX6 is much more rebellious, much more reactive. So there's such a big difference between the second will and third will. Just look at that. Look at that. It's a shortcut, you know. SO6 is gonna be much more stoic, more unemotional, less reactive, less paranoid, less aggressive, more fair, you know. Um, a great example of a social six, in my opinion, in LSI. If you watch the series Sandman, The Sandman by Neil Gaiman, that's a SO6 LSI, right? So he captures the essence of a social six LSI quite well, in my opinion. I'm here. Where's the crack? So, can you describe Anapollo? I would just say probably certain level of insecurity when it comes to time. People who are always fighting against time, putting too much tasks in their day, right? Not really realizing, oh fuck, I did too much. I'm not, I fucked up. I cannot do all of this now. So I think in many LSCs and ESCs, that's what kind of leads them to behave that way. Just can be very prepared, try to see everything that can go wrong, but forget details like that, and struggle with time. Again, in my opinion, usually overwork themselves, put shit in their schedule, and not able to pull out after when it's necessary. Do you think? Um, do you think arranged marriages are a good idea through the lens of typology? The problem with arranged marriage is that it's an outdated idea, and second of all, if in my opinion, look, if you're not choosing to be married to someone, how the fuck are you gonna be happy? How the fuck are you gonna create a fulfilling life for you, for the other person, for your kids? If you're not happy, that's not who you wanted to be with. Many cases of arranged marriage, they don't even want to be with one another, they hate it, but their parents forced it. So in my opinion, I just don't see arranged marriage as something that's good, and we come on, man. Everyone has a fucking ability to live their life, and I would assume you'd want to fucking live your life however you want, right? Not fucking be told you need to marry this guy. You might not even fucking like the fucking individual. Can SLE be type C? I don't believe. Listen, I'll tell you this. It's a complex issue because, as you saw my video, I was explaining all the things. If I will remember correctly, as social three in the book, in the social three book, is described as a type that is not spontaneous. It lacks any spontaneity, right? That's already a bit of a red flag. So it lacks any spontaneity. And everything that they do, they know how to speak, they know how to talk, they know how to when to speak, they know when to shut up, they know how to do this, do that. They're extremely adaptive to the external world. And this might seem very SLE, oh, he's very adaptive. It seems natural. It seems like SE, but it's not, because it's all of from perspective from a very controlled, sophisticated individual, away from spontaneity. So it's not spontaneous adaptation; it's crafted adaptation. So that's number one. Second one is that they don't feel that they're constantly on the move. A social three is constantly fighting against that intense restlessness, right? That always need to be active, focus on their idealized future of success that they have created by neglecting the present moment. They don't trust the flow of the present moment. They don't, and they have they lack the confidence necessary to truly just live in the immediate moment and just enjoy it for what it is. So that's what really pushed me away against social 3, and SLE. I mean, I'm an SLE. I could never fucking imagine being that way, or how, even in a theory way. How could you explain, irrational type SC base struggling with those things? So for me, it's very sus. Now I know it's long-winded. Forgive me for that. But Andrew Tate, I used to type him SLE. Ah, okay, he's an SLE. But I sat down and I thought to myself this: what kind of SLE goes on fucking weird tangents about life is a chessboard? Life is about this, goes about some fucking weird. Oh, I was trained in the Wupan temple to destroy. Fucking weird shit, like weird schizo level coded shit, right? Saying how you need to think steps ahead. Okay, values wise, yeah, it seems kind of gamma to me, right? So values wise is gamma. A lot of flexing. Oh, I have fucking cars. I'm this. I'm the best. I'm the most smartest. I'm the most capable. Can seem like he's SE base. He's flexing all the time, but that's weird. To me, that's already weird. SE base. Why would that? Why would your base be pronounced like look like that? So exaggerated. So that's kind of fucking suspect to me. Always thinking about potential ideas how to get more money. The guy sat down, had nothing, and figured out how to become a millionaire. He's always thinking about something, how to get this shit. Extremely restless, can never relax, 24/7 working. Even when he's on holiday because he has a fucking business to do. So, honestly, we should entertain LIE. I genuinely mean it. We should entertain LIE. Do you read? Sorry, by the way, for the slow replies, guys. Okay, I kind of got really sucked into it, and that's it. But look, do you read books? No. Well, books. Like, do I sit and read books? I don't read books. Um, I've noticed I could read something, but it has to really, 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 really interest me. So, I've read a psychological book. It was a psychological evaluation book, and that's I like that. It was psychology, so I was very interested in that, and I read it. It was small, 200 pages, some shit. I don't fucking know how many pages, but I liked it. So, even this Enneagram books, I don't sit and I fucking read them. It's very hard for me to maintain the attention span to read and fucking. I get bored. I get bored very quickly. So that's very difficult for me to do with books, honestly. What do you think about ENTJ women? They don't exist. In the ENTJ women type A, they don't exist. There is no such thing as ENTJ 8. So I it's interesting because I think he was an SLE. I was reading about him and how he treated people, how he couldn't see it coming when he got backstabbed. Terrible with personal relations. Absolutely fucking terrible. But then people say he's an SE. I'm So he was dog shit with personal, but he's an SE. So I'm kind of confused. Some say he's an EIE. He's a fucking EIE social to warrior. Social to warrior. Okay, we that's a bit too fucking much. Calm the fuck down. So people will have always different fucking opinions, but in my opinion, how the fuck would that guy have good FI? Uh, no, I actually forgot to even fucking do that. I actually forgot. You fucking asked me that question. I probably forgot that shit. Fucking that same second you said it, the same minute probably. I'm I might do it this time. No, but just fucking write to me and remind me, okay? In the comment section. somewhere in my comments. Hey, I'll do it. Because now I'll fucking forget. With eight, it's just freely expressed. Anger is freely expressed. The way I view anger and the way eights view anger, it's not a problem. Anger is part of who we are, and it's part of just complete expression. You know, people might often say, "Oh, an eight is angry. He looks angry. He's screaming. He's maybe raising his voice. He's annoyed. He's It's intensity, yes, but it's not really that deep. The anger doesn't run deep. As quick as it hits, it goes away. So anger is just a tool. Anger is just an expression. Whatever the fuck, you move on. With a one, that's when it becomes more of a disease. It becomes more of a problem, in my opinion, because with with one, it's that suppression of the anger, right? The perfection. So much more difficulty with anger, which can manifest as strong neuroticism. Because imagine having that suppressed anger and you're very often angry, but you're trying to fucking suppress it every time. It's never released. So it causes a constant stand of this constant state of neuroticism. So many fucking one course can struggle with that. And with nines, I think they fall asleep to their anger. I think so. Just suppress it, numb yourself to it. That's what I think happens. Just the general defense mechanism of a nine core is numbing yourself to it to the point where it's not recognizable. That's how I would think. It's a weird thing. Oh, ENTJ8, women. Listen, I don't know who you are, but what's the statistical likelihood that you're an SLE woman? Like eight core woman. What is the statistical likelihood you are an eight core woman talking to me in chat right now? You know what I'm saying? And second of all, ANTJ8, it's not a thing. Woman, man, fucking, it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. Now, if you want to know why, ask me a question and I'll respond. I'll tell you why. I'll explain all of it. Solomon is correct. I type him LIE SP3. That's why I type him. You know what's the difference? I'm pretty sure one of them doesn't exist. LII is not a thing. I'm pretty sure it would be LII if I was to think about it. But in general, come on, they're not similar. They're not similar. One's more ideological, one's more less. There's no fucking any. So quick to turn down ideas, quick to not be good at spotting potential in different ideas. Much more firm, much more capable of staying their ground and facing confrontations and even pushing back. And Lia is a fucking nerd. No offense. Yo, what's up, Blade? Is EIE SX4? EIE SX4 is a creation of 2022 2021, and I'm quite sure we will not see anything like that anymore. Slowly, this concept of EIE SX4 is dying. But I would say this: if you type someone EIE SX4, they're probably IEE SX7. That's what it is. I have no idea, man. I cannot tell you with the OG trilogy. With the new one, I've heard people type him SP8. Relational. What does this mean? Make a video on functional relations. What is this geek shit? What do you mean by that? What is that? Oh fuck. No, 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 no. You no, it's too different, man. It's too different. It's way too fucking different. IEE just is it's peak NE and zero focus on boxing yourself. Zero focus on boxing people. So everyone has their own potential. Everyone is unique. And they don't belong to a category that hundreds of thousands of people can be put in. So you see this TI Polar. Uh, they're much more personal. They judge things more on the basis of an individual, right? Personal. So it's more one on one, and it's not as categorical. The ILE is going to have more impersonal, categorical approach to people, and they're much more logically sound. They're very structured logically and categorical, systematic. Even with people, that's the thing. They use systems to navigate people. IEE would never use systems to navigate people, even if they fucking tried a million motherfucking years. I remember your correlations video. People will always try to fight that this SX4 um, happens. But I've seen patterns with this though. I'll give you some patterns. People say David Bowie, SX4 EIE. I type him EIE SO2. Kanye West, SX4 EIE. I type him SX7 IE. Any fucking example of this SX4 EIE is simply debunked by another fucking type. And by the way, I'm not a slurper. I wasn't against EIE SX4 since the beginning. In fact, I was like, nah, this is bullshit. This can be. I was against it in the beginning. Only after I was like, fuck, man, this shit cannot be. We have to, Then I kind of came to see it, and I think other people will come to see it too. Slowly, people will change their mind. It just takes time, Fuck. Uh, y- yes, but you're also missing some big points here. SO8 doesn't have to mean that you're great at relations. Think about it. SO8 can mean that you're great in mobilizing people in your groups, right? You are impersonal, but you deal with groups, ideologies, right? So that still can apply to social aid, SLE, because you deal with groups, not with individuals, but you mobilize those groups. That group is what matters, not this one fucking person in and of itself. And also, some sources of social aid do show and present it as a type that does not form individualized connections, which is a point for FI Polo. Now, that's not to say that's how it is. It's just one source portraying it as a type that's very FI Polar. They don't do individual relations. In fact, they do group relations. They gather masses. They change things on a bigger scale. All right. So it just depends on the author, but it just I think both can fit it. Just different manifestations here. For entertain, if not, why? Okay, why EIE? Because he's listen. Why EIE? Very good at creating an intellectual formula, a very logically sound individual who creates a certain logical formula to adhere to for standards, what it means to be excellent, how to get it done quickly, how to do it efficiently, how to make money, how to cheat the system, how to create change and this and this and that. So it's a person that always creates those logical formulas. Everything is about creating that formula to get more efficiency, to get better results, to do it quickly. Now I think if you see Tate just as an influencer who just manipulates the masses, I think you could say he would be uh, he could be a fucking EIE. Yeah, okay, you could say that, but I don't view him as that. I genuinely don't view him as that. At the core, in my opinion, This guy is making fucking profit. It's all about improvement. It's all about self improvement. It's all about what is it about? What is Tate about? Really? Self actualization, right? It's about self actualization, becoming the best version of himself by reaching certain standards that he set himself out. And I just don't believe an EIE is going to be do that. Also, either look, Solomon, you are using PY. You know PY, okay? And I don't want to say like, oh, correlations will tell you the truth, but we cannot deny that Tate is a very physical person. He's a very physical person. So what would you type him? You know, in PY, he's not gonna be. He's not gonna be FEVL. He would never be for L. So there's an issue there. Yes, Deadpool is an IE. The guy is, yeah, peak TI polar. Another hot take: the archetype for pure choleric is SX1, not 8 core, because pure choleric isn't quick to move with anger. I was thinking about, and you might be right, yeah. I think with 8, I think you can be every single blend of choleric. So all the choleric blends fit. But would it be the archetypal choleric? I would give it to a 1 core if I wanted the archetypal Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna be thinking Gordon Ramsay probably if I want to give the archetypal choleric. Why do you think David Bowie? I've looked into David Bowie fucking a long time ago when I was making the short. It's been fucking ages. But if you ask me right in my comment section, I'll think about the fuck this answer and I'm gonna respond it in a thorough way. So to you, so no. Don't get me wrong. Listen. Okay, to correct this, Beatrice Chestnut said that social age struggles with individual relationships and that they do more impersonal, as in more group ones, whatever the fuck. Okay, FI Polar, only FI Polar can be SE. No, because in many ways, SO8 is described as very buddy, very relational, more soft, more personable, more mellow, more adaptable. And they do focus on their like that one-on-one friendship. So it just depends on the side of SO8. I think both SE and SLE work. You know, I would never cancel would never cancel SE for SO8. No. Yeah, dude, I remember watching this movie, and people used to tell me he's an 8 core. I remember they type in him SP8. I could SP7. Fuck, I don't remember. SP3, SP7. I'm I'm not sure. From what I remember, I'm not sure if SO3 fit. Volition, self confidence, and physics enthusiasm. This is complex because on face value, people will tell you that's true. Face value, people will say yes, of course. 1V is confident, 3V isn't confident. Okay, sure. What about there are many LIEs that are confident. They're confident people, correct? Yes, many of them are still 3V. What about sexual twos? Many of them are very confident, and in fact, excessively confident, right? At least in the presentation, very confident, shameless. So it just depends what you mean. I think volition is direction. I think volition is following your desires without giving a fuck about the external expectations or the external flow of things of the society. And it's not being bothered. It's just self-focus. It's self-focus on that desire on or what you want in getting it. That's what I think volition probably is. And physics is enthusiasm. I've seen many people link physics to happiness, that 4F people cannot be as happy, that they're more miserable, that they're more depressed. And it's funny, yeah, probably if you look at people who are more depressed, probably you would see many 4F people. But I think it is true that higher physics can be linked to joy, to enjoying life. Because think about what really is life. What is enjoyment in life? It is about that food. It's about living in the moment. It's about going out. It's about experiencing life, right? It's engaging in the physical world and engaging in all of it and all the great things that the world has to offer. So I think there is some correlation there. Ouch. Ouch. I just cracked my fucking. How does healthy type 9 present? A person that doesn't get swayed by other people. I'm gonna. Okay. A person that doesn't get swayed by other people, that doesn't numb themselves to their desires, that doesn't numb themselves to their feelings, to their pain, to discomfort, anything. Very. Just imagine a nine that's not a fucking zombie. They go after what they want. They speak out when they feel a certain way. They don't just follow lead by to other people and cater to other people while just shutting themselves off. Right, their desires, their wants and feelings don't matter. So I think that's what a healthy nine would be like. Fucking mosquitoes, man. Fuck! I killed fucking multiple of those cocksuckers last time. You. Yeah, you can say fucking bye bye, bitch. You can say bye bye when I'm done with the stream. There's no fucking way. IEI type 6. Yeah, self preservation 6. But I'll tell you something. Now, don't go thinking that I believe it's not possible. But I've seen a pattern of every SP6 I've known so far retyped to social 4. It's a pattern. And that pattern makes me a bit fucking suspect. But I would say, yeah, go ahead. It's not bad, but consider social 4. What's your opinion on the SX variant? I think it's so weird because it's such a vague thing, right? SX variant, like by whose definitions? Like, like Ichazo or shit? Like, in what sense? Because they all manifest so much differently. So I don't really know. I mean, fuck, I don't think I have an opinion. Um, the point is that their attitude to people is mechanical. I'll tell you how FI Polar can be good with people. FI Polar can be good with people. I'll tell you this. It's imagine people. Imagine people are like National fucking Geographic, right? National Geographic. You're watching National Geographic and you see this animal. And you're like, oh, this animal, oh, fuck. Okay. You observe the way this animal acts. You observe the way this animal behaves in different contexts. You observe maybe how his muscles moves, what guides him forward, right? Why the fuck he's acting that way? And you try to link this behavior. Why the fuck? What makes him do those things? Why is this animal acting this way? Oh, well, information says that the animal is acting this way because he's thirsty. Animal is acting this way because he's scared. That's the way FI Polar can learn about people. People are like National Geographic, and you can understand people by understanding frameworks of how people are supposed to work. That can require categorical and systematic logic. That's a way that an ILE be good at. Just uh, Ali, look, are you fuck? It's a simple question of fucking autism. Are you genuinely autistic with people, or are you like Joe Goldberg? Literally, that's it. Okay, you think you can complicate the fuck out of this, but there's no reason. Autist Elliot. Okay, think Elliot from fucking Mr. Robot, blown full blown autism. Motherfucker can even express himself or manipulate anyone if he wanted to. Mr. fucking Joe Goldberg, who's a fucking cosplayer. That's the comparison. They are often they are often confused for one another, and I think also a big thing here. They're both the same. They are both the same PY type, which is probably why they're so fucking confused for one another. So they can be both the same PY type. They can, not to say that they have to, but um, fuck, man. The biggest difference here that I would say is that the SP7 is not as conscientious and doesn't actually give a fuck about crafting the image of an excellent and ambitious individual who's thriving to achieve certain standards. And an example of that, I'm going to use a character called Lou Bloom from Nightcrawler. Okay, he's gaining more status, he's gaining better positions in his job. Is he a social threat because he's doing that? Because he's always pushing forward? No, because he doesn't give a fuck about achieving any image or living up to any image. He's gonna cheat. He's gonna fucking bullshit people. He's gonna fucking do anything, scam motherfuckers. But it's not about okay. I'm gonna be focused on my image. I'm doing this so I can fulfill my image. SP7 in general can be more non-committal. They can be more irresponsible and more flaky. So that's the difference, I would say. Just not choleric dominant, please. Just not choleric dominant. I would know. Fuck. Choleric dominant social too. Yeah, fuck. No. I guess you mean choleric blend. The way 1L manifests in LII would be no different the way the fuck it would manifest in fucking IEI. So, from what I've seen in SP6, it's a type that has a very foggy attitude to emotions. It's a very weird attitude to emotions because there's certain disconnect in processing it. You know, they need time to process those feelings, to really understand them. So there is a bit of that delay. 1E lives in the feelings. They know the feelings are the world. But with the SP6, there's the element of the disconnection because it's a head type, and that weird fogginess in terms of how they feel about shit. Certain level of distancing and accessibility to their feeling, even though they're an article type, they're a feeling type. But to understand them and connect with them, it's not as automatic, I think. I'm curious why SX8 are drawn to SP4s. I cannot answer this to you because I believe it's an anecdotal. You're saying this from your anecdote, but that doesn't define SX8s. If I ask 50 other SX8s, oh guys, are you attracted to SP4s? They will say fuck no. I don't give a fuck SP4s. If I ask another 50, they'll say yeah, I like it sometimes. So it's a question, why are you drawn to SP4s? Not really SX8s, because who can say, I'm not sure that SX8 are drawn to SP4s. I think we have VLFE SP7, the guy 5 from Umbrella. That's probably what I've heard is the probably the best example. So look into him. That's an example. What's your opinion? Misguided, very misguided, and there's no really movement. I view it the way I view it. I view mistyped people. Mistyped people claim that's their type. Oh, I am an SO5 and I am LFVE and I cannot be anything else. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, sure. You're just fucking mistyped. No, SO5 would never be LFVE, which is an aggressive, combative, paranoid, tyrannical fucking type in terms of their logic placement. Synflow and contraflow. I've heard of this concept and it's very fucking shady. Very shady. Because let me fucking think here. SXSO is contraflow and SOSX is synflow. Right? I think SOSX is synflow, right? And SXSO would be contraflow, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to make sure it's the right fucking idea here. All types of appearances, such as body language and face gestures, ways of wording. Ways of wording could be what we know for sure is that obviously your personality has a certain way of expressing itself. So SE bases, maybe 8 cores, are going to be more physical. There is going to be a certain level of physicality, movement, right? Same for intuitive types, like for example, any basis. There might be more movement, um, very all over the place, very chaotic in body language or scattered. They can be too. In Naranjo, it's funny. Naranjo believed, for example, Enneagram 8, you could not be a skinny Enneagram 8. Like, Naranjo believed that if you're an Enneagram 8, you do have to either have an excess of fat, have a bigger muscle, bigger build to be one. Because I guess it's linked to like the excessive nature that they just kind of want to indulge at all cost. But it's kind of funny to think about. I think there's reason to it, but people sometimes do take it too far, and you need to be fucking logical about this. Okay, so as I would say, if do you think that their in disinterest to living is the only thing that makes you think 2F is not possible? What about all the other parts of SP5? Because many do relate SP5 to even SLI, correct? Which is, as we know, very high type in physics. So, how would you think about that? What's the most withdrawn introverted? SP1, SO2, SP3, SP4, SP5? The, 6 is confusing because you could say, oh, SP6. Yeah, but then my brain automatically thinks EII. Is EII more withdrawn than an LSI? Fucking sus. So with the 6 ones, I'm fucking up for grabs. With 7, maybe SP7, less oriented towards people. SP8 and SP9 probably. So I guess the most common the most common pattern probably self preservation subtypes would be the most least in outward focused. No, I don't. No, what the fuck? No, no, no. I would never. Not a single 5 core in my eyes can be this PY type. Always explosive and emotionally disturbed. I don't think they're. I think emotionally disturbed can be can be something that they are, but explosive. I would say no. You have to remember that they're a six core, so they're still inhibited. It's not a person you'll meet on the street who's gonna be so open with their anger and with impulses. It's not gonna happen. I think their anger they can be explosive, but it's not gonna be as uninhibited. I did. Iva the boneless. Think about Iva the boneless. The thing about Iva that we know is that Iva really follows his feelings a lot. He gets offended. He feels some type of way. He's very eager to follow those emotions, and he's very emotional that way. Very emotional, right? Kills his own brother because he got called something and he spurred. Oh, I was angry. Fuck. So very focused on his personal feelings towards shit, towards objects, towards people. Another thing, very good at routing, creating crowds, mobilizing people. Okay, but look how expressive he really is. Expressive of his hate, expressive of his dislike, expressive of anything he feels, which is kind of weird for a fucking SLE, I think. Because compare him to Ragnar. Compare how expressive Ivar is with Ragnar. You can see almost the difference there. So they do, and that's kind of where I think it's a bit too much. They go super specific. Your fucking jaw has to look like this. Your eyes have to look like this. I think it's a dude. It's a bit too specific. Jesus. I do agree. If you're an SE base, generally from what I know SE bases. I know 8 cores, and they're all big guys. They're all muscular men. So it's true. Yes, you have, but it's not because they're this type. It's not because you're an SE base, so you're gonna be muscular, right? You're 200 pounds, 190 pounds muscle, blah blah blah. It's not because of that, just because you're born an SE base. It's because it's a consequence of being an SE base. It's a consequence of being an active type. It's a consequence of being a type that wants to feel the competition, wants to feel the thrill, right? Lifting weights, doing sports, doing combat. It's simply a consequence of being a certain personality type rather than, you're an SE base, so you're born with that build. Obviously. They can um they can be prone to it's a weird relationship with 3v. I think many 3vs can be procrastinators, and then they can feel shame about being procrastinators, so it's funny. Well, it's such a big distinction. 1v, many times I didn't want to do something that I didn't like. I didn't have interest, maybe related to school, related to something. I didn't give a fuck. So I did other shit, which would count as procrastination. Did I feel ashamed? Did I feel bad? No. I thought I'm doing the right thing because fuck this. If this shit wouldn't be so fucking boring, I would actually do it. But 3v can be procrastinating, but then there's this feeling I'm not doing enough. I'm fucking up. I'm a fuck up. I'm a failure. I'm there's always something under the belly of the 3v person hitting them with a whip, like a Big Daddy Dom and a BDSM session, hitting them in the motherfucking ass. In my opinion, genuinely, it would be LSI. LSI S66 would be the most racist. SLE would be the second most racist. But the racism for an SLE, it sounds ridiculous. It will sound completely fucking ridiculous, but hear me out. It's more like, oh, you stereotype bunch of fucking people. You put people in boxes. But it's not because you have like an ideological fucking, you're a neo-Nazi or you're fucking KKK. You just, you are a very educated person or cultural differences. So you make fun of people, equally by categorizing them and putting them into boxes. So in a sense, that's how an SLE would be like. Maybe an SLE using the N word and then being like, you're a black guy and you're his best friend and he likes you and he respects you and he doesn't give a fuck. So it would be a strange fucking thing. Examples of SLETI: Vincent from Collateral. Um, Fuck. You should write this comment somewhere in my video, and I'm gonna send you the list. Send you the list of them. Very mistyped though, SLETIENTJ. Just forget that. If you see ENTJ SLETI, mistyped. Forget about that. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the way I learn how to understand people, most importantly, how to understand myself. Because funnily enough, without the systems, I would have no idea really how to fucking understand myself and understand others. Okay, you're doing this because of that. I understand. Or understand the differences. Most importantly, understanding I'm different from you. I cannot expect you to act like me because we're different. You cannot be like me. You're not weak that you're not like me. I'm not weak because I'm not like you, right? So it helps you understand those crucial differences. In my opinion, it's a perfect way to understand people more in depth in a systematic fashion, especially if you are a person who likes patterns, because believe it or not, topology is all about patterns. 1V also hates inactivity. So inactivity in of itself is related to physics, activity, pushing into action. That's physics. For example, SO2 VELF. Despite many people circle jerking the type, they can be people who even the example of VELF was a person who would spend her time sitting on a fucking couch daydreaming about all the wonderful shit and the ambitions and the glory, but not pushing herself to action. So I think I would actually relate um, activity to physics. Of course, you relate if you relate volition plus physics, you have a person who tends to be active. If you compare them to, you relate them to all the subtypes that are 1V and 2F, they're all active. Because people don't. I'll tell you this, because MBTI, and this happened with Ragnar Lovbrook. Ragnar is reserved in some scenes. He is deep. He must be an INTJ. So it's very superficial understanding made honestly by people who use MBTI. This is just MBTI. And we've all been there. We cannot sit here and say, oh, we haven't done that. I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing. So I get it. It's just MBTI is just not, I would not use MBTI as a serious system. I wouldn't. So Raven is not really. I've never viewed Raven as a racist person. I mean, that's the funny thing. People create all kinds of stories, haters, which is funny. I mean, many people hate him, which you hate a guy you don't know. Please, how do you do it? How teach me? How do I hate someone I don't give a fuck about and I don't know? But many people hate him, and they create those stories like he's racist, he threatens people with death. He is, oh my god. We can all agree Raven can be a bit much, and of course he can be a bit of a fucking or a dick walker. Ye- We can agree with that, right? Obviously, he's a fucking LSI SX6. He's gonna fucking be that way. But fuck, man, racist? Nah, I wouldn't describe him as racist. But SP8 SE wouldn't work. It just wouldn't. SP8 is impersonal. SP8 is detached from the relations, and they're much better at operating within structures. They can use different rules, they can use those laws, hierarchies, and they can manipulate those hierarchies, manipulate by becoming in charge of those hierarchies, and then having control over those things. So this is it's much more hierarchical type that's very impersonal. They don't give a fuck about personal relations. They objectify people, much more cold and much more inexpressive than the SEE. SX2 doesn't work. EFVL is a four core type. SX2 is a very materialistic, physical, and seductive type that focuses on seduction, using emotionality as a tool, using emotionality as a weapon. Doesn't fit. That's not weird. I will shock you here. That's not weird. 8 core and VFEL is common. Self preservation 8 being the most common one, but it's very possible. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, why would an 8 core give a fuck about that? Yes, but if you read about VFEL, which is considered one of the very quick type to react with violence, a type that's more externally stoic, tough, and emotionally hard, it can fit the SP8. They're very push. They push away those emotions. They kind of silence them. So it makes sense. I don't know who this is. I don't know Private Piles. Who is this? Um, Lazy. I think the fact that you are very it depends how physically you really are. You feel a craving. So it's interesting. You have a craving for feeling comfortable with my body. Do you mean it like what? Like you know, being active, doing things in the physical world, maybe working out, maybe doing that makes you feel comfortable, or what? Like it's you have to understand why the fuck you do that. There are many good examples of SP8, but the best one, in my opinion, the best one, who captures all the traits would be Alonso Harris from Training Day. He has the egoism, selfishness, manipulation, deceitfulness, charlatanism. He has all of the characteristics. He's probably a bit more expressive than what you expect from an archetype, but he does have all the characteristics. In my it depends. Those people who just you just saw and they were using those subtypes, that's model G. So subtypes in model G are good. They people do use them. Now, if they're good depends on who the fuck uses them and how you use them. Many people can use them as justifications, and many people use them as genuine tools to give you a better understanding. It just depends. It's a tool and depends how you use it. I mean, to me, it just in my eyes, what you probably can know, you're not for physics. If you enjoy really feeling that fucking physicality, you're probably not for physics. How good your physics placement is, then you have to consider multiple things here. Is it insecure? How's your relation to other, aspects of the physics placement? It becomes more complicated. Both of them are result. That's how they're similar. So one F cannot give a fuck, not take a shower for a fucking week, eat chips and eat anything they want and not give a fuck, which is the same thing that 4F person can do. So in that sense that they're similar. The difference here is 1F does feel completely immersed in the physical world. He's completely sensorical individual in that sense. He's going for the, depending on the type, of course, right? Possessions, materialism, right? He likes the food. He likes that eating food. He loves binging. He loves fucking excess. The 4F doesn't take pleasure in physical world to such extent. Why don't you think it's a listen? I will give you one of the biggest lessons I've learned in typology. When I came to typology, we I typed as everything possible in tri-type. I typed as every tri-type you can think of, starting with 8, as in, 8 something, 8 core. And I've realized something, the more people I met, the more people changed their types, they settled into their types. The more I'm observed, you know, objective examples, the more I realized, people are not really that different from the average manifestation of the type, at least in the systematic way. Meaning, all those special fucking tri types, where are they? I don't see them. Every other person I meet of the subtype has nearly the same fucking exact tri type. It's a pattern. Maybe there are 3 tri-types that happen for a specific subtype, and it's always the same fucking 3 tri-types. Always. And people will tell me, yes, but people are special. It's not possible. If you define your personality just by typology, yes. But we all have different preferences over shit. We all have different nuances that go beyond a tri-type, right? As a personality. So in that sense, I haven't seen a single example of that tri-type in real life. That's one, and it's so rare. It made to be this rare creature. How come I've never, not a single, from 20 real life examples, it's always the same tri-types repeating: 873, 874, 863, 862. Never 854. Never 852. That one fucking doesn't exist. 852 doesn't exist. So that's it. Examples of eights typed as another anagram. A real life example of an 8 core that's typed as something else would be I show speed. I show speed would be a good example of an 8 core. Real life 8 core who got typed as a 7. That's one. Cook from Skins typed as SE7 core because he likes pleasure. That's the understanding we used to have. Okay, he's a 7. He likes fucking pleasure. LSCs can be more tend to be more extroverted, more pushy, more forceful, and the biggest difference is rationality in terms of like extrovert thinking and introvert thinking. LSI focuses on its own understanding of things, its own structures, and own organization of its framework. It's generally not as focused as enforcing the external world, creating how to do methods, performance, right? Intellectual formulas, how to do shit, how to achieve shit. What's the best way to achieve shit? What's the quickest way to achieve shit? How do I solve this problem in the quickest way? They are rejecting of objective facts oftentimes if it does not apply to their understanding. This is not present with the LSC that operates in objectivity. They operate. Think about a person like Gordon Ramsay who they know what temperature you need to cook something at. They know which temperature exactly, and you need to do it like that, and it's operating within facts, accepted facts, and they don't deny the facts. They are adaptable in the sphere of facts. If something is a fact, is it true? It's proven statistically or otherwise. They adapt to it, and the size tend to be a bit more different. I've seen they tend to be less boisterous. They tend to be more introverted and way more schizophrenic. You don't see an LSC being a schizophrenic. You can see an LSI being fucking schizophrenic very, very easily. I think Jesse Pinkman might be SX9. Although, fuck, man, his personality confuses the fuck out of me. What do you mean? Maybe you're overthinking this shit. Maybe you're overthinking. That's what's going on. If you're VLFE, are you sure you're VLFE? Then you're fucking VLFE. Man, you guys are ruthless. You are butchering all the 5 fixed 8 cores. Listen, I'm not against. It's. To me, the 852 is the biggest joke that has ever um really existed in the tri type and for 8, right? So you're 8, you're the withdrawn, the cold, the impersonal 8, but also the 8 that's exhibitionistic, attention seeking, right? Using flattery. That makes perfect sense. Like you're 3 different human fucking beings molded into one. And what the fuck? What is this fucking creation? It's funny because I used to be like, maybe I am 852. Wow. Yeah, I should have probably told myself, motherfucker, you ain't special. You're just like everyone fucking else. I don't listen. I think anyone can become less awkward, right? Anyone. 5 cores, when they interact more with the external world, when they interact more with people, they can become less awkward. It's just more difficult for them because they're fucking autistic. So social skills are something you hone. When I was young, honestly, it was difficult for me socializing wasn't as easy, and it just wasn't, being around people, it just wasn't easy. It's only over a period of time that, when you're older, like fucking, even as an older teenager, it's when you kind of get better at it. But it's normal, we all do that. Some of us need more time than others, but I think it's doable. You can change that. You can impact the awkwardness by, I've had thousands of conversations, and it's a just it's a skill. Go practice with that. You can go practice. Hold the conversation with a complete stranger somewhere. Hold the conversation. Make the conversation so interesting. You hold it for 1 hour. That's what I did, and that's what made me a good conversationalist, because I was like, okay, I've done it so much. Okay, I can talk about anything, and it helped me to take initiative in conversations. It taught me, take initiative, ask questions, be curious. So let the other person fucking talk, right? That's probably the biggest key for you. Let the other person talk. You just fucking ask questions. I I don't think SCE can even have a five fix. That would be so fucking. It would make no sense for me. But there are people. Every try fix exists. Maybe. Oh my god! I like people don't fucking use their brains. Every try fix exists. SCE, the most extroverted personal type. Five fix. Logic. Left the chat. What's your typology? I swear, I had never heard you mention it. SLE, yes. 874. Interesting. Listen, I am a man of many try types, and I kid you not, I also typed myself as an 874 one time. There was a time, and I typed that shit for months. My rationale, what was my fucking logic? My logic was, well, I'm an individualistic person who doesn't give a fuck about the Sigma male grind set. I think it's a joke, and I don't think you should fucking become a victim of this commercialized world we live in. It's all about being liked. It's all about fucking popularity, the social media likes and fucking dislikes, fake bullshit. So I used to be like, I must be a fucking forfix. But now I'm looking, wait, where is my melancholia and where the fuck is my sense of lack or anything? I don't have any of that. So I'm like, well, that's out of the fucking window. Uh, ay, ay. Whew. Okay, so what 8 core subtype would you say is most likely to be 874 or 864? 874, I would say SX4. SX4. SX fucking 8. So it will be SX8 for 874. 864, I'm still gonna say SX8. Okay, I'm still gonna say that. um, I think it's bullshit to a big degree, because it's such a cope. In my, it depends, right? Depends on what the fuck you're talking about, which issues. But you're an SLE 8, and you tell me that you are a very vulnerable and soft person now, because you're depressed. That's why you're not insensitive or aggressive, because you're depressed, because you have no energy. That's when it becomes dumb. No, you fucking the fuck. You would not become that way because you're depressed. So that would be weird. Depression can alter some things, but I'll tell you something about typology. Your personality has natural predisposition to certain disorders, certain affective disorders, affective issues. For example, I'll take myself. I have no predisposition towards depression. None. I just, no. Not something I fucking ever deal with. Or, I don't deal with that. I don't have any predisposition to schizoid traits like that, or schizotypal traits, or histrionic traits, or borderline traits. I have zero predisposition in my personality, because you can see my personality would never manifest as a borderline. It just doesn't happen. Now, if you say narcissistic or antisocial, see, now you're probably dealing with a closer area where my manifestation of my personality can overlap with the traits there. So all of our personalities can have a certain predisposition, and that can be explained also with typology, because different personality types have different predispositions. To fix debate, many people, you'd be surprised, many people have told me I'm too fix. And I'm not going to say that they're dumb, because their rationality was that I am very outspoken. The rationality was that I am individualistic and I don't give a fuck about the impact I have. Right? So I speak what I think, I express myself fully without being focused on like adaptation or like focus on that success and shit. So that was the rationality, and not the ego, not coming from an external source, the sense of self not coming from the external source. So that was usually the argument, and in using that argument, if that is the case, okay, I sure. But yeah, fuck, man, you can make a debate about everything, just not five fix. It's one debate you probably I would not have again. Five fix is just nope. I mean, I do think I who I type as 853 and like famous people. I type John Jones, the guy who was I think they type him as an ISTP. I do type him as an 853. I don't see 6 and I don't see 7. So I'm like, okay, he seems very competency focused. Like this guy is very, he's more calm, more withdrawn, more reserved seeming, and very focused, right? It's a guy who studies your every move, learns everything about you, your weak spots, when you throw a jab, when you throw a knee, when to throw this, how you throw that. He analyzes you perfectly. So I thought to myself, man, this guy is probably a great example of the fucking tri type. Yes, I will do a complete guide on Anagram 9. I don't think they're boring. Honestly, listen, SO9, Social 9 is a very interesting type. It's a very interesting type, and it's a very mistyped type. People think, I don't know what people think about that. But it's an extremely entertaining type, very much more extroverted, more of a mentor, sweet type. I want to do that video. I want to do a video. Maybe even, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna do it soon, because I could see it blowing the fuck up. I could see it, people being interested in it. a video how different conditions overlap with our personality types, enneagram, and even outlining those differences, because people will always get butthurt. They will read it and be like, "No, you fucking shouldn't do that." So I will point the fuck out exactly the fucking overlap for the TI polar monkeys. No offense, as he's reading this fucking chat. I mean more like IEs. If you're not IE and you're in typology, take a fucking break. I don't know. I've seen people say SP1 potentially, and it might be possible. It might be possible. He's TE base. It might be possible. Probably the next complete guide video probably gonna be 5 core, probably Enneagram 5, and from there we'll see. Why do you think ESC SO9 doesn't work? I think I fucking talked to someone. You know, I'm not. I'll tell you. I'll tell you fucking honestly. My 3L is coming back when it comes to the whole ESCSO9. I can see there was a quote how they're much more unassuming, and they don't want to. They're not as expressively dynamic and expansive as you would expect from an FE base. Taking people's space and with their emotional energy. But my 3L makes me think, okay, I'm fucking sus. I am fucking sus. I'm sus. Maybe I'm being open minded, but I'm a bit fucking sus. Social 7. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a social 7, the most famous social 7 that has ever lived. Aren't we all fucking nerds? I mean, to a certain fucking degree, fuck. I mean, we are literally. I, a guy once, not a guy once told me, but I've had many people tell me, 8 cores are busy fucking women. How could they be ever in typology? I don't understand. Stupid face emoji, right? Fucking retardation. What? 8 core in type? How? It's not possible. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Okay. Some people are fucking dumb. That's it. But we are all nerds to a certain degree. Anyone who is in typology is a fucking nerd compared to the average fucking Joe Schmo. We're fucking nerds. No, it's crazy. It's not that they even said the 8 can't be a nerd. They went further. They said an 8 would not be interested in typology ever in 1 million years. It does not matter what the fuck it is. An 8, not a single 8 out of 8 billion people would ever be interested in typology because they're Sigma male Chadwicks. They're Sigma male CEOs. Why would a Sigma male CEO sit and give a fuck about typology? There it is. Enneagram 8 is attached to action, how to see them being interested in anything, self-reflection or exploration. I think if you go by an assumption that the 8 core person that is interested in typology, that's the core of their personality, not action. I would agree with you. But if I'm an 8 core and I'm a person that requires constant stimulation, a person who always has to be moving, the more stimulation, the better. Intensity, physicality, lack of patience towards, again, reading books, dealing with too much theory or shit. So if you have that and you combine it with a personality that, okay, you have some interest in typology within reason, I don't think it contradicts at all. Bro, listen, I've seen your comments, I think. Reddit, no one, no one, 98% 8 cores on Reddit are mistyped. 98% of 8 cores on Reddit are mistyped. That's the reality. I'm not sitting here and telling you, oh, they cannot be on Reddit. It's because I've seen them. They're mistyped. Because a real 8 is someone there butchering those fucking pigs for fun or maybe even being fucking mistyped. So, my friend, listen. Um, I have asked Rune to type me. Rune, who is very good in Model G, I made a video for him. It was a private video, a typing video. You could see my face and I answer questions. So he looked at it and he typed me. The result was SLE SN, creative normalizing subtype. And he says that my temperament cannot be IJ. The temperament IJ just doesn't fit. Irrational doesn't fit either. I suspect people who type me LSI and Model G do it because I make videos on correlations. I make videos on correlations. I That's the image of an LSI, a rational person. If you know me, you know my life, you know how I am in my life. I'm a person who probably has ADHD, person who has to always keep fucking moving. I'm the person who fucking keeps pacing, working out at the same time as I'm walking back and forth in my room, cannot stand still, can't fucking do shit like that. And if you don't know me, okay, you will say rational type. LSI fits perfectly. He has an ideology that he follows, which I don't, by the way. That's the irony. Um, and that's it. But you're typing. I guess it's a persona typing. It's not me. It's an image of me that people look at, which is it's me. It's me. It's real me. But it's just a part of me. A guy who's making correlations and telling people they're wrong. Social three. Social three can be that way. I would say social three. I would honestly, I would say social three. For me, in my opinion, that would be the biggest candidate. That's my thing. Um, the temperament is not, and Rune told me about it. Rune said it's not the temperament justification is impossible to really explain. So I mean, I don't fucking know. I never got typed. SC would never work in. I would definitely. It's either LSI or SLE. If anyone would type me without being brain dead or hating, it would have to be the beta STs. And listen, which is and this is really funny because people have create fan fiction about me. They have different imagination of me. On one side, we have the Rust is super rigid. Rust is super rigid. He wants systematic understanding of the types. Fuck, LSI. On the other hand, Rust is not rigid. Rust is TI polar. Rust doesn't care about systematic information. He's an SCE. And it's like, guys, you just fucking called me a TI base and a TI polar in the same fucking sentence. Make up your fucking mind, you know? So different camps, niggas who maybe were fucking, butthurt kids, autistic motherfuckers. Depends. But I will tell you a story. Type saying I'm democratic is the funniest thing ever because okay, I'll try. Okay, fuck it. You know what? Let's do this. I'll try to justify SEE. I'll try to see if I can justify it. Okay, I'm an SE base. Okay, perfect sense. FI creative. Okay, I'm expressive. I guess. Okay, fine. FE demo. Many people like him. Okay, we can justify it. TI polar. Okay. He has a fucking channel on typology where he categorizes everyone and including people using universal logical laws. Okay, that's a bit fucking difficult. How can I fucking bend the logic here? Okay, gamma quadra values. He's individualistic. How does he make his judgments? Isn't he aristocratic considering he fucking judges people based on the group that they belong to? Oh fuck. That's beta. Oh my god. What now? So oh fuck, that's funny. I'm having way too fucking much time. No, no, I don't think I do not believe it's a hate typing. I mean, I don't view you as someone who would hate type me. We have no problem with each other. I mean, I don't. You know, we have good interactions, so I don't think it's a hate typing. So the values of gamma quadra is just the way I view it. It is individualism, but it's self actualization. Right? Self actualization, and most importantly, gammas they focus on not the groups, and that's the biggest fucking difference. They're not group oriented. They're oriented towards individuals, people as people rather than people. Well, you don't matter because you belong to X, Y, and Z group. Even though it's not You don't know those fucking people. It doesn't matter if you don't know those people. Maybe those people are good. Maybe they're nice. Maybe they're not nice. The problem is that they're fucking associated with the other motherfuckers. That's where you go into the beta territory. Gammas don't think like that. Gammas will see you as a person. They will judge you as a person. Are you a cocksucker? Are you cool or are you not cool? So this is a much more individualistic judgment done on people, which it doesn't exist with betas as much. You know, from if I always say decapitation by association. That's my fucking motto. You're associated with the enemy. That's a decapitation by association. And it doesn't matter who the fuck you are, as long as you're associated with the fucking flag. That's the most important part. It's a good question. Fuck, man, my brain. I think the aristocracy probably works on different principles, not power dynamics, none of that shit where you stand in a hierarchy. Maybe integrity, hardworking, sleazy, lying. So I think they make judgments more in terms of that personal judgments too. But it's aristocratic, so it's more oriented towards those universal judgments. That's why I would. That's why I would think. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know Delta fucking Quadra as well. See, and that and you know what's funny? I'll tell you something, and that's why you're an SCE. That's a perfect example of an SCE. Because if I'm in my group, I was this way in the past. When I was younger, when I was more immature, For example, my good friend, maybe we are in a group. We have a group. We create a group. He's associated. He's going to the group that we obviously should not be in contact with. They're very different. They're opposite of us. They're in our with our they're in competition with us. So by going there, regardless of who the fuck you're gonna go with, you're betraying the group. You're doing something you shouldn't have been doing because you're fucking the group in the ass. Right? That's beta shit. That's why you're fucking SCE. P gamma. You don't give a fuck about the association shit. Does not matter to you whatsoever the fuck ever. But how the fuck are you an SO8 if you don't give a fuck about groups? I'll tell you something. Not every SO8 cares about groups. You are an SCE first and foremost. SO8 will work for you where it's relational, it's one on one, protectiveness of the person. Although, if I was you, I would definitely make sure you're not a fucking SX8. I would make sure you're not an SX8. But SO8, SE, they can be relational, not the group as much as, protect those people you care about, those specific people you don't have those bonds with. You protect them, you care about them. So that can manifest that way. I think it's important enough because they're a manifestation of your elements, but you cannot just type yourself using the quadra. It's not simple. But in my opinion, they are important. I think people just don't understand them, which I often made mistakes like this too. So it's fair. I guess I have to create my own path now. The only way. Eh, we are all in this because we believe what we do is correct. We believe our information is right, right? Like we're doing a good thing. And reality is it's a game of influence. That's what it is. If Frank James with 1 million subscribers, 1.4 million subscribers, huge platform, if he would teach people that LSI can only be 6 core, you would see influx of people only believing LSI can be 6. He would change the whole fucking community, the whole thing. He would change it single-handedly. So it's really it's a matter of who has the most influence to be able to change things. That's literally it. That's how this community fucking works. So you know, okay, there are people who, oh, you're stupid. You don't think. It doesn't fucking matter what you think because you have zero power. You have zero power over what the fuck is going on in here, right? It's zero, nothing. You're a fucking like a little fucking worm. I'm not saying you, but in general, once you make a channel, once you create your own channel, you are now creating influence to affect, to impact the typology community, okay, right? In your case, by spreading the right information. Now you are a player in the game. Now you can have impact depending, because you have competition. You have competition. You're competing against other fucking people, you know, to spread more like a fucking disease. No, my friend, SP6 can only be 1L. That's it. Oh, that's good. That's okay. So that means I'm not completely slacking. That means my fucking idea was correct. I used my brain. I didn't even read this shit. I used my brain. I was like, okay, the aristocratic plus they have F5 valuation. Genius. It's stupid. You're getting typed by people who take are not as experienced. You're an LSI, but you're more chaotic. So what does that mean? So are you a TI base or are you not TI base? So are you actually SE creative or not? So SLE but more reserved. What does that mean? An SLE can be reserved. So okay. So you're just an SLE. I would say this. If I would say this to anyone who wants to get typed, I always tell them, listen, I cannot help everyone. I cannot sit here, and even though I do, I often respond to people and explain the differences between types for fucking free. I do that. But I cannot help someone to really help, figure out their type without having a deep analysis of their personality. That's where I say, go to my coffee account on YouTube. You see the link there. That's where you have a link for the questionnaire. You apply, and I give you an in-depth explanation and help you figure shit out. That's why I always tell people, so if you ever are interested in that, do that. But in my opinion, here, what the fuck does that even mean? This. No, I was saying that you maybe you are I know you're a fucking SE. I went on a fucking tangent. I'm a fucking ILE actually. I'm an ILE SO7. Ha. Fuck. No. But I was saying that maybe you're an SX8. That could be also something you should look into because you're an SE. But SO8 can be the way you described. Person doesn't give a fuck about groups. They're anti-groups. Many SEs almost have contempt for groups. I've noticed that. I've seen that. So I already have. I'm gonna be honest with you. I already have I already have an inner circle. Like, I mean, how do you think this community lives? This community lives because there are people in it, right? People in it, smart people in it. And it's true that some of you that are really supporting the channel for a long time, that are on the fucking case, I think those people deserve to be part of it. But I'm very selective with who I allow to be part of it, who I invite, because you know I think it's important, right? Having some fucking random being like, yeah, you can fucking join. But I should kind of invite some of you. It's not a private server. I mean, you have to get a link, but it's not really a private server. So should invite some of you that seem legit, you know, and then stick around. Oh, thanks, detective. I do wish you luck. I do wish you luck if you um, do have your channel. I do wish you luck, and you have. It's funny because you have opinions I don't agree with. I'm sure I have opinions that you don't agree with. You have opinions I don't agree with. So it's vice versa. But I think the energy is correct. It's okay. Different view, fine, and it's so important to try to fucking learn that. For me, I have this split. I've talked about this with people. I have this split in me that tells people, oh, it's fine. Like I tell Raven, let people believe what they want to believe just because they have different views. It's fine. Let's not get fucking pressed. Whatever the fuck. If they have the wrong information that we perceive, they'll learn. They'll learn. And then the other part of me is like, no, fuck the motherfuckers. You're in the opposition. You hold those beliefs that I believe are fucking incorrect. So we need to decapitate them. We need to fucking remove them like cancer. So I have those two fucking sides of me just battling with one another. And it's always one or the other. But I try to fucking be like, it's typology. What helped me though? What I thought was correct, what I thought was the truth a year ago is now a joke. What I thought was the truth 6 months ago is now a joke. So that taught me humility. That shit taught me humility. Because I used to believe I fucking had it all figured out. I used to say ENTP8, fucking ENTJ8. You guys are so dumb. Fuck. I thought I had it all figured out. And I did not allow for doubt. I did not allow for any room of being, oh, I'm maybe wrong. But I didn't think that. But by fucking seeing how typology is so subjective and it depends on our current interpretation, on the current information we have, I realized, bro, what the fuck? I should not ever do that again. I should try to just be like, okay, as for adapt, just be adaptive. Fuck. Okay, okay. You are loyal, Crafet. You seem loyal. Okay, like you've been loyal. Jade seems straight up too. So message me somewhere in the comment section. Some things, and things might happen. Yo, I wanted to invite your fucking ass. Don't you fucking come at me. I wanted to invite you a long fucking time ago, months. But you know what you told me? You told me this. You said, I don't have Discord. You are welcome anytime you want. Anytime you want. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Oh my fucking god! No, that's. Don't listen to that, please. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, 100 fucking percent. When I saw your posts on Reddit, I knew you were fucking legit. You know, in the sea of cosplayers, I saw you, and I'm like, this motherfucker is legit. I can fucking tell. So I knew. It's funny, but I knew. But what I found strange was your typing, your initial typing. I'm like, she doesn't seem, she doesn't seem to be that type. I initially thought SX8, very expressive, fucking emojis ever crazy, impulsive, and expressive, brash. So I was thinking, seems, very fucking SX8 coded. But maybe I'm wrong because I don't fucking know you. Remember that. I- oh fuck, I'll be cringing. That's funny. I will tell you this. I am really excited for the 8 book. And you know how most people they read something like negative about their type and they're like, oh my god, my heart, right? They're like, they get so dramatic, it's so painful, and they're like biggest, like, their inner trauma just spills out. And I'm thinking, dude, I hope Naranjo write some fucked up shit. I hope Naranjo exposes my deepest fucking trauma. Like, I'm praying, I'm happy, and I would pay that he can dig deep, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this shit. Like, this motherfucker was touched as a kid. His uncle didn't fucking like him the way he thought he did. Like, just a list, and that hits me like, oh my fucking god, that's me. That's me. I do want that experience. I want to read something that I relate so much and it's so fucked up and brutal. It's refreshing. At least I'm gonna understand myself a bit better. Fuck, man. What is it? You're right. That can be a 4V. It can be 4 of will. Like zero ambition. That does sound very 4V. And it sounds very 9. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds very fucking 9 too. Oh fuck. Bruh, no, oh my, bruh, those types are so fucking different. If you if you tell me that you're considering SLE after, if maybe you're just a hypothetical, maybe that's not the case. But if you ever consider IEI, don't even consider SLE. Like, fuck, But just that's for anyone really. But yeah, la puta madre is very typical. Your mother is a fucking bitch, or your mother is a whore, or something. I knew that. Vaffanculo di merda, something like that. Although that's Italian. That's Italian. So I fucked up the languages there. People who consider that are new. It's usually new people. I don't blame them for that. No, you cannot be an NI base and a nine. It's a direct contradiction. The point of nine is that they're a gut type. They're a very sensorical type, like fucking eight. In fact, nines are probably one of the most sensorical types. Okay, man, you scared me. You nearly gave me a fucking heart attack. But because I've actually had some motherfuckers come to me with that shit. But again, I told you, bruh, if you want, listen, if you want the typing, I can arrange that shit. Okay, go to my fucking coffee, ask a question, and if you have additional questions, we can fix it. I cannot help you without that. Okay, guys, wait, how long we fucking streaming for? 2 hours. Fuck. Okay, guys, listen. My wife needs me. Okay, I cannot just fucking abandon my duties. It can be a seven thing. I mean, it can be a seven thing, but of course it can be a nine thing. It actually can be a nine thing. But guys, listen. It's been good. It's been a fun chat. But I have to go. Okay, it's 2 hours. Same thing again. Your Oscar. Oh my god, in baby terms. Yeah, fucking 6 hours. Nah. Although one last question for this guy: the way people say loyalty, that none of that should matters between those types. Ideology. I've seen gammas that can be idealistic and they can be ideological. Not a good argument. The only argument I really see that differentiates them is the orientation towards groups against orientation towards personal things and how they make judgments. Betas make judgments by, for example, association, such as people, that person share X trait. This trait belongs to this group. That's why they're retarded. That's why they're intelligent. It's all about applying universal laws of categories to define people, to categorize people and situations and ideals. And gamma doesn't do that. It's not group like that, oriented in that way. It's more individualistic judgment. They judge you as a person, if you're a cocksucker or not. It's not, you hold this X, Y, and Z belief, so you must be retarded because every other person who has X, Y, and Z belief is also retarded. So that's the difference, as quickly as possible. As aristocratic against democratic, individualistic against collectivistic. Now, don't think, oh, but I'm individualistic. Oh, you need to think how you make those judgments, how you look at the world. Is it collectivistic, or is it aristocratic, or is it democratic? Either way, guys, I'm fucking out. It was nice talking to you. Those of you who want to be part of the server, and those of you who are not cunts, obviously everyone here is pretty nice. I can invite you to a server, and considering you guys are active in my channel, you can be let in. That's what the way we'll do it, and then we can truly decapitate the whole community together. Anyway, I'm out. It was fun talking to you guys. Bye bye. Good night. Ciao.